Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the week of June 7th. This week, we're going to just jump right in. We're just going to jump right in here, Aquarius. And we are going to see what wants to come up for you this week, Aquarius. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time, Aquarius. But Aquarius, let's see here. At the end, by the way, I'm going to pull 3 yes or no question cards. People are asking to have that back, so I will pull 3 yes or no question cards. If you don't have questions, that's fine. I'm going to put all 3 cards together, and I'm just going to answer them as one as well. But Aquarius, let's see here. You have the Brown Bear Spirit. This card says take time out here. You have the Ten of Pentacles, Four of Cups Judgment card. I don't know if you saw it, but that Judgment card wanted to come up in reverse. And for some of you, I feel like you're not seeing something. Four of Cups. Judgment in reverse would be not answering a calling. That's one way you could read the Judgment in reverse, is that you're receiving some sort of call and, you're not answering the calling. And with the Four of Cups here, that would make perfect sense here as well. Four of Cups is a card of apathy and contemplation. In some ways, I feel like this is saying you need to, I feel like this first row is really saying you need to take time to look at something that could be very, very good for you in general and make your life much better. I do get like a little bit of an overthinking energy here in this first row, more like the Ten of Pentacles, for example. I mean, the Seven of Pentacles. You have the Ten of Pentacles here, but kind of like the Seven of Pentacles, overthinking, overanalysis type of energy. So, to me, this first row is very general for you, Aquarius. To me, it's saying that there's something in your life that you're overthinking. Here, it's like you're thinking too much. I'm not going to say that you're wasting time. I don't think we ever truly waste time. I think we're here to create our own reality, and, it doesn't matter how much time that takes. And, the other secret is we can just come back and back and back and back as many times as we want. So, it doesn't really matter. But what I would say here is that I feel like you feel like you're wasting time, or you don't want to waste time on something. So, but I feel like that, what I would say to you is I feel like that thought is what is causing the overthinking. Trust me, I've been there. I'm an Aquarius rising, right? And I've been there. I've been in that space of just like, overthinking so much that I waste a lot of time, right? And again, I'm not saying you're wasting time, but I feel like there's something that you see that could be very good for you with this Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want in your life. It is, everything you desire and everything that you wish to have in your life. It is a tree of life. The Four of Cups, we could read multiple ways here, because the Four of Cups can say you're trying to manifest your Ten of Pentacles right now, Aquarius, but you're just not seeing it. And the Judgment card, again, came up in reverse, which would be not answering a call. So it's almost like you're being called to do things, and maybe you are just not answering the calling at this time. Let me get more details on this here, Aquarius, because I'm not exactly sure what this reading is babbling on about. You have the Chariot, and just needing to see where the wind blows you, The problem with the Chariot is it's like I love the Chariot, don't get me wrong, it's a card of victories and success, but the problem with the Chariot is that there are rules and regulations. The 2 Sphinxes here that are guiding his chariot, they represent certain boundaries or certain rules and regulations that he has to follow to get to wherever he's going. Where is that? Nobody knows, but and that's the other secret as well. He has no reins attached to those sphinxes either. They're just kind of, free. They can run wherever they want, and it kind of represents the fact that they can take the chariot wherever wherever they want, but it also kind of says that, there's an element of mystery to the journey that you're on, and it also says, like, the universe is kind of guiding you at this time. I would try to say, I feel like a need to almost just tap more into intuitive energy, I would say here, and maybe get out of the, kind of like logical thinking energy here as well. I'm not saying don't be logical, but what I am saying is I feel like it's almost like you're overthinking something and making it too logical. Even with that Brown Bear Spirit there, it can say that you are feeling like you don't have the resources necessary to do something. And so a lot of you could feel like there are certain limitations when there actually aren't here. Yeah, you have the Magician. You are creating your own reality at this time. Make sure to use your powers of manifestation. But and the Magician, I put the card sideways. He's pointing towards the Seven of Wands here. Seven of Wands is a card of conviction. It says when you know that something is for you, it becomes for you. It's like kind of like the energy that I'm getting here is like that overthinking energy where you could be thinking too much about a situation. It could be a love situation, which we'll talk about here at the end. And it's like, all the time spent thinking, you could have just been in the, you could have just been in the relationship. It's kind of like this reading is almost, it's kind of weird because I do feel like a conflicting energy here where in some ways I feel the reading is asking you to be more present. I feel like it's saying like, don't live in the future because it doesn't exist yet. Like live right now. Do what you can do right now. I feel like too many people get into relationships, immediately start worrying about the breakup. It's like if you're doing that, then you're creating the breakup, right? By not living in the present. You're living in the future and not living in the present. And I do feel this row is kind of saying that. And you have the Ace of Wands here. Something is going to make you, there's a new beginning that is going to make you very successful here, Aquarius, but I feel like you need to kind of, take a leap of faith towards it. I feel like you need to allow it to happen with that Ace of Wands and that Judgment card. I feel like there's something that repeats as well, something that you keep going back to, especially for those of you who are working on projects or businesses or personal projects, or maybe you want to change your health. It's like something keeps repeating in your life here. And I feel like that is like the thing that you're supposed to be doing. I would say don't try to like out-logic it. Kind of weird route, but it is what it is. Next, you have the community card. Again, I kind of said this in the next 6-month readings that I did recently, that, I would say for the next, 7 years, that the community thing is going to keep coming up because, again, the universe is really rewarding co-creation, especially right now. So if we step into a co-creative energy or if we do things to co-create with other people, we're going to be much more successful than if we didn't do those things. So I'm a big fan of co-creation right now. And that does not mean like if you have a business that you're gonna have a business partner. That could be something, but it just means that maybe you have a person who you bounce ideas off of, who you work together with. It's like those types of situations are gonna be extremely beneficial and are gonna lead to more success. And again, same thing, if you have a business, having a business where you're doing things for other people, it's just gonna make you more money. I talk about this all the time. It's like, I think the spiritual community is wrong in saying that like money is evil and things like that. And that's not what it is at all. Money is just energy. People who say that give money way too much power, right? But if you're doing things for the community, if you're creating a business that is helping other people, you will naturally make more money at this time, right? And then use that money to keep doing good things is what this is kind of saying. And so, there you go. For others, again, if you want anything else, I would say that your community or people in the community could be very helpful. You have the Eight of Swords, Seven of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. Very stubborn energy. I'm not calling you stubborn here, Aquarius, but I am calling you stubborn at the same time. Eight of Swords, stuck, only seeing one way to do things. As I always say, the Eight of Swords, sorry, I think I said Eight of Wands, but Eight of Swords, it's like being right up against a wall that's like right up against your face. If a wall is right up against your face, you don't know that it's only this big and that you could just walk right around it. That's the Eight of Swords. It's like being too close to a problem. Seven of Wands can be being stuck in your ways, or, it's a card of conviction and defending your position at the top of a hill. And then the King of Pentacles can be a little stubborn. So I do feel like this is saying if you're stuck in your current situation, that there are people in your community, again, could be family members, friends, people in your community literally who live around you, who have, answers or solutions to any problems or challenges that you're dealing with. This kind of just says try another way is what this is saying to me. Pretty simple. It's funny because Leo, your opposite sign, gets very similar messages. I always say, it's always a good idea, especially if you have Leo in your chart, I would definitely watch Leo. But to me, opposite signs usually have very similar readings. And but this is to me saying, just try something new, try something different, try something you've never tried before, for sure. Wouldn't surprise me if the Nine of Wands comes up in this reading. You have the King of Pentacles again, just more of that stubborn energy. Again, King of Pentacles is a card of convention. It's a card of the way things have always been done. So that's why the King of Pentacles can represent stubbornness, and the King of Pentacles can also represent being stuck in your current situation. You have the Justice card as well. Justice card is one of those things, especially with the Seven of Wands and especially with everything else that's showing up in this row. It's like one of those things where it's almost like you can't keep doing what isn't working in your life. So that's kind of like a weird message that's popping into my head. But basically, this combination to me here would say that it's like sometimes we can have a belief, and we all do this. Again, this is not a criticism. We all do this, where it's like we believe that things work a certain way in our love life or in our business or, wherever, right? And then it's like another side is shown to us at some point in our lives that makes it so, where maybe we see that, a different approach to any challenges that we're dealing with is better. And that's kind of like what I'm getting here. The Justice card is cause and effect. It says, you might be getting to a point where you just want to do what works. So I'm trying to think of a good example for you here, Aquarius, and I really don't have one other than, kind of like YouTube, right? In doing tarot readings. Well, actually, this is a bad example because I don't really do love readings. I do whatever comes up readings, but it's like one of those things where I've definitely thought about it in the past, where, in the past with my channel, I thought about only doing love readings because it's what works, right? And it's kind of like surrendering to what works. And I didn't do it, but so this is a terrible example, but what I'm saying is I could have done that and maybe I would have grown much faster and, that's kind of like what I'm getting here. But I don't think you're, to me, that would be, to me, the reason that's a bad example is because to me, that would be selling my soul, right? If I were to do that personally, because I just don't care about love readings in general. But, what I would say here is that I don't, you're not selling your soul by doing something. I feel like you're just seeing another way of doing things in your life. Yeah, King of Cups, it's like surrendering to the flow is what I'm getting here. It's like you're surrendering to just so that you can make your life easier. Sometimes I think, and I've been getting this message for the past few weeks for pretty much everybody. It seems to be a collective energy where it's like sometimes I think we get into this area of life where, life is such a struggle, and then it's like when the struggle goes away, or if there is no struggle, we kind of can start panicking. There's a story, there's a book that I love. This is like the third time I've recommended this book this week. It's called Choose Yourself, and probably because I'm listening to it again, and I'm listening to it because I recommended it. But it's called Choose Yourself by James Altucher, and he tells a story about a man who built a business and he became very successful, but it's like, and then he retired. And it's like once he did that, he became super depressed and sad. And he realized that, it wasn't the success that made him happy. It was the building process that made him happy. That's popping into my head for some reason. It's like you're realizing that a certain part of a process, whether it's you getting into a relationship or starting a business or whatever, it's almost like this reading is saying to me that you're realizing that there's a certain part of the process that you enjoy that really truly makes you happy, right? And that's what that's kind of what's popping into my head. It reminds me of when I lived in I moved to Seattle with my brother, and 4 years ago now, or 5 years ago, whatever it was. And I remember it's like thinking back, the best times I had there were when I had no money and I was just scraping by. That was the best time of my life when that was happening, right? Even though at the time it kind of seemed like a struggle. So it's all those things are popping into my head right now, and I feel like some of you are again realizing that part of a process is more enjoyable than the end result. And why is this a good thing? Well, 9 of Pentacles. I feel like this is making you I'm getting the word efficient on this card, and I'm also getting another word as well that's trying to pop into my head right now, but I'm not really, it's not coming to me. It'll come to me if it's meant to come out, but I feel like you're becoming very efficient at something. And this is important because if you realize that you enjoy a certain part of the relationship more than other parts, it's maybe you can extend that part of the relationship. Maybe you can do things in relationships, maybe the honeymoon period, right? Where it's you're all lovey-dovey and all this other stuff. It's you can extend that by putting in the work to become more romantic, or you could be doing things to keep the romance alive longer so that you can enjoy that process in relationships. Same thing in business. It's if you realize or understand that you enjoy the building process more, maybe you could help businesses build their business. And then it's you're always doing something that you enjoy. So in a lot of ways, that's what's popping into my head here in your outcome row. It's there's something that you do very well. The word is effective is the word that I'm getting there on that 9 of Pentacles. To me, effectiveness is being very, just very good at what you do and having a good handle. That's the King of Pentacles. You have the King of Pentacles twice here. King of Pentacles is kind of a card of having a very good grasp of a certain skill and being very skilled at like kind of one thing. And I feel, Three of Pentacles, showing off your work. You have the Three of Pentacles, the Lovers, and the Two of Wands here. This is like going to lead to a change. There's definitely a significant change coming in for you here. He's reaching forward to that wand and he's going to new lands on the Two of Wands. I feel like for some of you, it's like definitely a change reading. All the readings have been change readings this week. Mercury retrograde, it makes perfect sense to me because we go back to the drawing board during Mercury retrograde. And I think we kind of like say, I like this, I don't like this. It's like we can kind of perfect the things that we enjoy doing. And it's a pretty simple reading. I feel like that's what you're doing. I feel like you're just realizing like which part of all processes in your life you enjoy. And you're going to be focusing on that. And I also feel like you need to think to yourself, like maybe you need to get a notebook and write it down. Like I enjoy this part of the relationships. Maybe you enjoy the beginning or the end, or maybe you enjoy the middle, or maybe you enjoy who knows what, right? Living separately. And, I feel like what's going to be happening in the future is I feel like people are no longer, it's like for a long time, I feel like we've been living lives that like society tells us to live, like getting married, having kids, but maybe some of you want that, but maybe others don't. Maybe others of you enjoy living separate. And guess what? You can be in a relationship where you're together, but separate, right? So I feel for some of you, it's like you're starting to do things. It's almost like where people are becoming more, I wouldn't say independent, but Nine of Pentacles, I feel like you're becoming more independent, or you're just like living life on your own terms. It's pretty, this is a good reading, Aquarius. I really like where this is going in a lot of ways. I feel like you're just deciding that you're going to do things that kind of like treat you best, if that makes sense. And it's like you're going, and that's it. There's no other, I really don't need to say anything else, right? It's like I feel like you're entering into, situations that treat you best, whether that's like where you live, where you go to work, where you, the work, the type of work that you do. So you're really kind of like perfecting things here. Very similar to the Taurus reading I did. So if you have Taurus in your chart, definitely go watch that. Eight of Wands. This is going to lead to quick success. It's like plain and simple. When we do something that we enjoy doing, then it's going to lead to a lot of success. I feel like people need to learn the difference between kind of like, doing something that's a passion, but doing something that you enjoy doing. I kind of am on both sides of the argument when it comes to people who talk about like passion-based businesses and things like that. Some people say don't do it. Other people say definitely do it. I'm kind of like, I see it from both sides. I feel like it depends on the type of person that you are. For you, Aquarius, it's not going to be true for all of you, but for most of you, it kind of looks like if you're looking for a career or business, it's like you're doing something that you enjoy. It's like, are you like totally head over heels in love with it? No, but I think this is a good thing because it's like there's a little bit of struggle there and in whatever it is that you're going to be doing, as in it's a challenge. If something is too easy, I think you're just going to get too bored. So it's almost like you're finding something where it's like, it's good. I feel like you're going to like it, but it's definitely going to be it's not going to be like head over heels in love. You have the Five of Pentacles here. I'm going to talk about this in a minute. I feel like this is a separate message. And you have the Queen of Cups. Yeah, divine counterparts, by the way. So that's nice. I feel like this is connected. I feel like this is almost a different part of the reading. But yeah, like I said, I feel like some of you are doing things that you enjoy. I feel like this is love coming in for you, by the way. For some of you, I do feel this is someone that you're like very passionate about here. King and Queen of Cups, divine counterparts, lovers. Five of Pentacles is like feeling left out in the cold here. I'm wondering if this is like a person from the past for like a very, very small percentage of you. I do feel this could be a person who's coming in from the past, basically. And, so it's Mercury retrograde. I always tell people be careful during the retrograde, taking someone back, but it does look good if you're doing that. I do feel like some of you could be getting communication from a person from the past. For others, I feel like that Five of Pentacles is saying, do not call attention to your weaknesses. That's what the Five of Pentacles represents. But I feel like this is different than that. Remember what I was saying about how it's kind of like you're doing things that you more enjoy doing. And I feel like you're removing the things that from your life in your daily routine or whatever you want to call it. It's like you're removing things that don't make you happy. So very interesting reading, Aquarius, but I like it. Aquarius, we're going to pull 3 yes or no question cards now. So we're going to do 1, 2, and 3. Feel free to pause this video if you need time to think your questions here. But 1, 2, and 3. For question number 1, I would say yes, stick to the plan. But I would say yes. For question number 2, yes, good news coming in for you here with the Page of Pentacles. And for question number 3, I would say yes, I feel like yes as well with the Hangman here. For a lot of you putting this all together, I feel like it's almost like you feel like you In a lot of ways, I feel like you feel that you've dropped out. Those are the words that I'm getting. Like I see someone dropping out. Not literally, maybe for some of you, but I feel like some of you feel that you kind of, it's almost like the past maybe almost a year have been kind of like a blur, and maybe just like you feel like you kind of sunk into, it's like you've sunk away from maybe your true purpose or your true calling or whatever, and it's like you're about, I feel like this is saying you're about to get like back onto your path again, as I said in the path readings as well, that I just did for June. I don't think we ever truly get off our path, but in a lot of ways, I feel like you're kind of getting back on your path here. This looks pretty good here, Aquarius. I definitely like where this is going. So thank you for being here, Aquarius. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. Really appreciate the support. But thank you, Aquarius, and definitely enjoy your week.